Pakistan's blasphemy crisis. Police officer murders blasphemy accused. In a troubling escalation of Pakistan's blasphemy crisis, a police officer in Quetta, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's Quetta, shot and killed a man in custody, Abdul Ali, who had been arrested for allegedly making derogatory remarks about the Prophet Muhammad. The killing occurred inside a high security police station after an angry mob demanded Ali's death and even attacked the facility with a grenade. Meanwhile, in another incident in Sindh, Dr. Shahnamaz, accused of posting blasphemous content on social media, was killed in a police raid after a violent confrontation. While blasphemy accusations often incite mob violence in Pakistan, these killings, one by a police officer and the other during a police shootout, mark a disturbing new chapter in the country's handling of blasphemy cases where religious tensions continue to lead to deadly outcomes. So let's yeah, D is saying this is wild. Cops killed supposed blasphemers twice in 1 week's time. So let's let's walk through these things one at a time because there's a lot more information available about the first case that happened in Quetta. Can someone help me learn how to pronounce that name? Anyways, so basically, there was this man, I believe he ran a tea shop, and he supposedly made derogatory comments against the Prophet Muhammad. Now, later, I saw some commentary that his derogatory comment was something about basically the seal of the prophets, meaning somehow his comment was deemed to be offensive to the belief in the finality of Muhammad's prophethood, which is something that is taken extremely seriously, but also particularly extremely seriously in Pakistan because of the Ahmadis. Um, and so this, just devolved into mob violence very quickly. I saw videos of the shop that was supposedly owned by him being vandalized, and we can watch a few videos of the mob violence that D found for us on Twitter. And basically, so this man was taken to police custody, and as has happened many times before, the mob descends on the police facility demanding that the police hand the man out of police custody and into the custody of the mob, where he will invariably be lynched. And so the police didn't do that. The mob violence got so out of control that there's reporting that people threw a grenade at the police station, literally throwing grenades at the police station. And apparently there are no casualties from just random grenade tossing, which is crazy. Um and then what this is where things get, cuz unfortunately that story, everything I just explained so far, well except for the grenade, is, not unheard of. It's kind of the way things frequently go. Grenade of peace is a crazy thing to say. I'm sorry, that really caught me off guard. Um So what I described so far, it's like, okay, yeah, of course, naturally, the mob's gonna go to the police station and try to take over the police station to go get a hold of this man. And there have been instances where the mob actually is successful in like ripping the accused out of the hands of the police and just lynching them right there. That happens. Okay, whatever. That's normal. Where things go to another level, which is a little bit of new territory, is that Armin, what happened next was that there was a police officer who was supposedly on duty or something, who, or the details are a little bit foggy, but there's some reporting that he was on duty. There's other reporting that says that because he's a police officer, he managed to convince other people that um he was a family member of the accused who had been taken into a more high security area, because they had to take him into a more high security area because of the freaking grenades. Then this police officer goes in and shoots this man dead in cold blood while he is arrested in custody. Yeah. And So the police
which is
officer,
illegal even in Pakistan. Basically, the
obviously,
police. Yeah. So people who don't know this cop was like, "F the law. This is a blasphemer. I'm going to just execute the mother, the mob."
yeah,
The
so
mob.
he just executes this man in cold blood. And so, and then he has been taken into custody himself as a murderer. Let's be clear. And this has been done
Wait,
to grand applause. He is being hailed as a hero. I was watching videos of his father being greeted by, officials in their community celebrating, the actions of his son, lionized. There are senators in Pakistan speaking on the floors of government about how they are going praising him, how they are going to personally pay for his legal fees. So
wait.
he's a hero.
Senators.
Yeah.
You said
Government
they're
official,
praising the
lawmakers,
police.
lawmakers.
Lawmakers are praising the police for violating Pakistani law. The
Yeah, and they're like,
lawmakers,
"Oh yeah, he's a hero.
basically.
I'm going to make sure that we pay for all of his legal fees to defend this
So
man."
basically, they're making a mockery out of their own legal system. They're praising a police officer that violated. Lawmakers in Pakistan are praising a police officer who violated the law by killing a blasphemer. That sentence, that's just basically that just needs to be law. Again, I'm going to say it one more time because I need to say this. Lawmakers in Pakistan are celebrating a police officer for violating the law by killing a blasphemer. This is the
What?
state of Pakistan right
No,
now.
no, no. It's not only that. While speaking on the record, like in the floor of the government, like
On the
proceedings.
government. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Not just like, oh, I
Oh,
went to
wow.
go make a comment, in a press conference outside of my house or whatever. We're talking about like speaking on the
So
floors
why
of
even
parliament. Like,
why are you even a law? Why are you even a lawmaker when you're encouraging your police to violate the law?
yeah, when you're
Like you're
encouraging
making a mockery of
vigilantism. So
your own system.
then what happened, and there's less information available about the next attack that happened. But then, literally within less than a week, there was another guy in a different province in Sindh, because the first one happened in kind of the Baluchistan province or area, heavily Baluchi area. Then the next one happened in Sindh, where there's some doctor that was accused of some sort of blasphemous content on social media. Now, what was considered blasphemous, we know that the standards are like very, very low. So it could be like something extremely mild. Who knows? Or it could, the problem is it could be someone made up a lie that was completely personally motivated and this man gets shot dead. So what happened with the second guy, there's an allegation against him. And then somehow or another, this man ended up holed up inside the home of one of his friends who was armed, basically trying to hide from police, hide from the authorities, armed. It sounded like almost a standoff. And I have heard mixed reporting about whether the second man was basically killed in a shootout and was actually killed by some bullets that his friend fired, aka like friendly fire. Or I've also heard other reporting that that's like all a lie and the police just killed them himself. I don't know what to believe, but either way, he ended up dead because of this allegation. Um and oh, so this is footage of the first uh mob attack that happened in the Baluchi area. And I believe this is outside of the police station. You're
Should I read the
muted.
caption?
Sure.
So this is yes. So this is mob gathering at a police station in Kata. Is that the name? To
I
demand
don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah.
custody of a blasphemy accused. Basically, people. This is becoming so regular. People attacking police stations, asking for the blasphemer. The fact that the people feel so safe to attack the police station shows the state that how weak the police are compared to the mob. So actually, let's watch this with audio. I have two videos for this. all of this over the guy suggesting that maybe, like, the accusation, I don't even know if it's true, that suggesting that maybe Muhammad was not the last prophet. This is, these people are attacking
something on that. Like, we don't even know.
right. So basically Muhammad not being Khatamul Anbiya. So here's a second video. Wait, this is a different place, but this is also, no, this is the same city.
Yeah, it's just a different angle.
Okay, so they're attacking the police station. Okay, so watch this. Wow. Okay. There are 500,000 Ahmadis in Pakistan, by the way, guys, and all of them believe that Muhammad was not Khatamul Anbiya. So this is basically 500,000 potentially de facto blasphemers in Pakistan. So you don't even, I mean, if they're getting so offended by somebody saying that Muhammad was not the last prophet, there are 500,000 people in Pakistan that just by being Ahmadi believe that. So are these people just gonna, like, at what point are these? This is why it's so dangerous to be an Ahmadi in Pakistan.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
this is why
extremely dangerous. I mean, I've
politicians,
watched videos of Ahmadis just literally being butchered in the street. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's really dangerous. So one thing that I wanted to touch on was that one of the issues with this, and this is obvious, and this is not a new issue, but people need to understand that police officers, the Pakistani public in general, essentially has every social incentive to lynch blasphemers and extrajudicially murder accused blasphemers. And this is one of the prime examples of this. The police officer did this. They murdered someone in cold blood, executed an old man while he was in the protection, the guardianship, the ward of the state, and is lionized for it, praised for it. His family gets honor for it. He gets honor for it. He is protected. He is praised by politicians in high ranks. Like he was the guy that murdered him was actually kind of prolific on TikTok, and I found some of his TikToks, and his comments are filled with people praising him in the comments on his social media. So he receives wide applause from the society. So I want people to understand that people have every single incentive to engage in this behavior. It's not a negative thing. They have every single social motivation to continue this level of violence and open vigilante extrajudicial murder. Why would they not? Think about it from a social utilitarian perspective. Why would they not? This is one of the most honorable things you could do.
Mm.
And I think it's important to put that kind of thing into perspective for people. Like, this is not like a negative thing. This is an extremely praiseworthy thing. This is one of the highest things that people can do. And in terms of thinking about that incentive, like, this incentive is not new. Like, seeing the murder in custody by police is something that we haven't seen in a long time. But in terms of this social incentive, this has existed. I mean, think about what happened to the murderer, the assassin of Salman Taseer, the governor of Punjab, who merely suggested mercy on an alleged Christian blasphemer. He was murdered by his own bodyguard. The bodyguard was then executed. Hundreds of thousands attended the funeral of the bodyguard, the murderer, the assassin, and then his tomb has turned into a shrine.
Yeah.
Like, so this incentive is not something that's all of a sudden new, but this is kind of a contemporary reflection of it. Um yeah, D
Wait.
provided
Mazak.
go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, Mazak is saying these people are Ahmadi. No, that's not what I'm
No, what?
saying. These people are Sunni. They're offended. They want to basically go choppy choppy or lynch basically somebody who's suggesting that Muhammad is not Khatamul Anbiya, meaning the seal of prophets. And I'm suggesting, and what I'm saying is like, imagine how dangerous the situation in Pakistan is, given that we have around 500,000 Ahmadis in Pakistan who believe that, who their views include the idea that Muhammad was not the seal of the prophet. So these people are getting offended, so butthurt over an idea that is held by 500,000 people in Pakistan. So I'm just showing you how horrible the tension, how much more this can escalate. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's okay. You go on.
So let's go through some of the comments right now. Um Jason is asking, why is this taken particularly seriously in Pakistan?
In Pakistan, well, I mean, it is blasphemy. Pakistan is just being more Muslim. You know, the Muslims are just becoming. I mean, this is true Islam. Pakistan is just a country that is a more pure version of Islam, where people are taking their Islamic belief more seriously than other places, and also because they don't have an Islamic government. For example, if you were in Afghanistan, as a Muslim, you could be like, okay, yeah, these people are deserve to be punished, and thank Allah that I have a government that does that, right? But in Pakistan, you have people with the mindset of people in Afghanistan, but they're not blessed enough to have a government that actually carries out execution for blasphemers. So they want to have an Islamic state, and they don't have an Islamic state. They have what they think is a secular state. I mean, it's not secular by our standards, but it's secular by their standards, right? And so that's why they think that they should take the law in their hand, given that they don't have a government that actually enforces Islamic law.
Whoops. We got another comment saying how much of these accusations are because of personal disagreements. I mean, I don't think we have any data on this
We don't.
subject. But we know that it occurs, and that's a consistent issue with the how partially how vague the law is.
I mean, the fact that
And
it works as a way to use to settle personal disagreements shows how sensitive people are, right? So some of these so-called accusations are because somebody actually said something. Sometimes it was a misunderstanding. Sometimes it's you just hate somebody, or you owe somebody money, and you're just gonna spread a rumor to just get rid of that guy. But the fact that even if it's just based on personal disagreements, the fact that it works shows how sensitive people are to blasphemy in Pakistan.
there
The
was something
partition
else I
was
was
a
going to say
mistake.
about that. Partition was a mistake. Oh my god, one of the worst mistakes of the 20th century, I swear to God. Young atheist saying, actually, recently a student from my university was accused of blasphemy. The mob tried to kill him, but the university management saved him. And the incident never came to the public because it's an army university. God, this shit is so scary. Like, what happened to Mashal Khan is like so horrible. And this is why I always want you to be very, very safe with your digital protection and identity, young atheist, because we care about you. Chuck Norris is saying basically he was in fear of a riot overwhelming the police, because this happens before. This is not new.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're right though. Chuck is talking about the police officer who killed the blasphemer. We don't. I don't think. I think he
No,
might have
no.
just. No, no. I think he just really believed that this guy should die. I think
Yeah.
that was his. Yeah.
Um, Banished Prince.
Yeah,
What
I
is
was thinking, wait,
what is he
what the
going
hell?
on
I
about?
don't even. It's like Banished Prince was complaining. They never highlight my comments even before Alfred did that here. I don't. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't have any beef against you. He was complaining in the
They
chat about
refuse to
us not
highlight my
highlighting.
comments. Maybe just what you're saying is not that important or interesting.
No, I think I highlighted one of his comments. That was interesting.
Oh my god, the
Yeah, but
self-importance. Um and Banished Prince did give a super chat
oh,
saying live scenes from Jurassic Pakistan and Jurassic Pakistan. Okay, let me be clear. I don't like this kind of language
Marcus.
because it's
Yeah,
dehumanizing. And let me be clear about something, guys. This is uniquely human behavior.
yeah, yeah.
Like, this is uniquely human behavior. This happens through a complex web of social and psychological incentives. If you think that your own society is not capable of this in the right circumstances, you are sorely mistaken. And part of the reason why I want to talk about this is because people need to understand that basically every single group has this potential. This is uniquely human. Like, if, for example, if you think
Mhm.
that you are somehow immune to being brainwashed, if you think that you are somehow too smart to be indoctrinated, you're already not smart enough. Like, because it
Well,
could,
I mean,
in the right circumstances, it could happen to you too.
all right. So I don't think the Banished Prince was meant that, but I did. This is we're not saying that you meant that in the way that, but this is why me and Susanna are sensitive about using this type of language, dehumanizing language, because of the impression that some people might get from it, even if you didn't mean that. Okay, because the problems that we're facing here with these people are very uniquely human, and that's why we don't want to use dehumanizing language. But also credit to the Banished Prince, because he's saying my comments were before you highlighted. I apologize. Well, no worries. I appreciate you saying that. So thank you for that.
Oh, and Shami, hi Shami, good to see you again. He gave a super chat saying thanks for sharing this. Well, thank
Oh,
you
well,
for
thank you for
supporting
being
the
here.
channel, Shami. Um, okay, GJ had some super chats regarding other or previous segments. So about my beef with cats. Saying in Dutch we often say dogs have bosses, however, cats have personnel. Cats often bond more with your place than with you. You know what? You're not lying. They have personnel. Personnel. That's hilarious. GJ also said further on dual slash multi citizenships, when rights and obligations tied to these legally clash, there's no standard solution. Now, my proposal is to let the bearer choose for themselves. Is liberal pro-choice? I'm not sure I fully understand.
So I
Um,
don't know if I'm going to respond to this. I'm just going to choose to interpret it the way I like to, because I'm not sure if this means what I think. But my response is I think I agree with what you're saying. If I'm understanding it, I think if you're a citizen, there are obligations that you have as a citizen, beyond just following the law and respecting the rule of law, that should be encouraged rather than enforced, right? So I do think that citizenship in a country should come with a certain values and certain responsibilities that you choose, but the way to get there is to promote that rather than mandating it.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube? Blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.